pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone, to our September meeting. We're ready for item 3.03, our superintendent comments.
Thank you, Dr. Towers. Welcome to tonight's Board of Education meeting. It's already been a productive night with our tax rate hearing and our board work session. Board had a follow-up session this evening as well, and we are glad you have joined us either here in person or online. We are 3 weeks into the school year, and we are off to a great start. Our bond issue construction projects at Monroe and Success are finishing up nicely, and both buildings look amazing. The work we are doing at and to our buildings/facilities, thanks to our community support, is a real game changer, and the buildings are looking fantastic. As we settle into the school year, we are doing so with regular school protocols. We are keeping a close eye on the COVID community level status, high, medium, low in St. Charles County, but are seeing the benefits to having our staff and students continue in the most normal setting as possible. With that said, I want to remind everyone that each individual has the option of wearing a mask if, when they feel they need to. All SCSD buildings are optional masking. As things progress, I want to reiterate that everything we do centered around the safety and continuity of the learning environment for our students and staff. And as always, I want to thank our Board of Education and our staff for all they have done to keep us moving forward in the right direction. Our number one priority in this school district is safety and security. Our staff go through yearly video training, and our students and staff participate in regular safe defend drills that are taking place this week and next that keep all of us in tune to what to do in case of an emergency threatening situation occurred. We have partnered with the City of St. Charles Police Department to offer more extensive safety training. I mentioned this last month that was in the works, and I'm happy to report that we are having 3 optional trainings next week, and also we'll have 2 more in the month of October for staff to be a part of more safety training with our police department. Fall sports and activities season has started. Seasons are going great. Warriors and Pirates actually squared off in softball this week. The Pirates prevailed in that game. I also had a chance to go out and see cross-country teams this week, or last Friday, I should say. St. Charles High put on a great event. I mean, there were teams from all over here, and both Warriors and Pirates did a great job. And both football teams are in action this Friday as well. The Warriors are at home, and the Pirates are on the road at Howell Central, actually playing Howell North, though. Next Thursday night, 9:15, this is kind of a neat thing, or a really neat thing. At St. Charles High, they will be celebrating 50 years of Pirate volleyball. We have a proud grandma back here, and also Title IX during the match versus Orchard Farm. We'll be recognizing Ruth Beardsley, who taught and coached in our district, as well as our very own Julie Williams, our principal at Lincoln, and they're both getting inducted into the GAC Hall of Fame. That should be a great night. Yeah, you can clap for that. And I know this is going to be very exciting for all of you, but you've been waiting very patiently for this, but the Benton podcast is coming back. Right, Chris?
All right.
Right, Chris? Yes, sir. Yes. Benton podcast is coming back.
Yes, sir, we gotta go.
The people are really excited about it.
They can hardly contain themselves right now.
We are glad you're here this evening. We have prepared a great meeting for you. You're going to hear some things on our benefit plan recommendations for 2023. We're also going to be talking about a policy change, technology planning program review, also an instructional technology use in the district. Mr. Kevin Richmiller is going to do a great job with that tonight, right, Kevin? Are you excited about that? Thumbs up to Kevin. And then also our district financial report at the end. I hope everyone has had a great start to the school year. We are well on our way to making 22-23 our greatest year yet, and together we will reach, teach, and empower all students. And I just want to say kudos to all of our staff, support staff, and certified staff. You all know that this summer was a lot for us in terms of getting projects done on time. Transportation was a huge issue this summer with, I would say, pretty much a severe bus driver shortage, and kudos to our team, our staff, and our transportation department for doing the best they can to service our kids, and I know we're going to continue to work on that, but just kudos to our whole staff for starting off on a great foot for this school year. Very proud of our efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Seifert. Item 3.04, Board Communications.
I have something to report. It's unusual. 2 weeks ago, I was invited as part of Missouri Retired Teachers Association to participate in an award ceremony at Monroe. We, as a group, the Missouri Teachers Association presented Leah Bryson with a $500 grant. And by all accounts, her application was spectacular. Leah Bryson is, I think, a third grade teacher? A kindergarten, okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Leah.
That was a neat presentation, by the way. I was able to be there. It was really neat to see that, so.
Item 3.05, this is our time for audience comments, and I have quite a few cards. So if Heidi would read the disclaimer or whatever it is.
All regular and special meetings of the board shall be open to the public. Since the board desires to be a good listener and be responsive to the community, persons desiring to address the board may do so during the time so allotted on the agenda and according to established procedures. During the audience portion of each board meeting, patrons are invited by the president to speak for or against any proposal on the tentative agenda or on any other school concern. The individual is asked to identify him or herself, limit comments to a few minutes, and avoid discussing personalities. The president reserves the right to limit the number of presentations and/or length of comments. At the discretion of the president, patrons may be recognized at other times during the board meeting. The board is very interested in audience comments. According to board policy, members cannot respond during the actual meeting. The board will listen to and research all audience comments. If necessary, additional follow-up will occur through district administrators.
Okay, thank you. So we do have quite a few cards tonight. Lauren, you can get us started.
Good evening. I'm Lauren Mertz, and I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the Missouri State Teachers Association. Just this week, we asked our MSTA members if they had any celebrations they would like to share with you. So I have a couple of comments. One teacher said, "I am loving my new job in SCSD with my amazingly supportive building administration, coworkers, and other support staff in the building. This is such a huge improvement from what I've faced the last couple of years in another district." Another teacher said, "I am celebrating the dedication, kindness, and outpouring of love and support from all our paraprofessionals the last 3 weeks. Their calm presence, unwavering love, and dedication to high expectations are just some of the traits that make them irreplaceable." One member said, "I'm celebrating getting paid for my online trainings." Another one said, "I am celebrating that even though it was stressful at the beginning of the year with construction, once students got in the building, it was a totally different feeling. The first 2 weeks have been amazing, and I'm looking forward to a great year." So we were happy to share some of the celebrations with you. Just one little concern we had was that the time is taking to fill unfilled paraprofessional positions, and I know that's just something that we're all struggling with, and so we hope that can be remedied soon. And we're just so proud of the work that our teachers and support staff are doing this year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Brendan?
Good evening, board members, central office staff, and members of the St. Charles community. I'm Brendan Kearns, and I'm the president of the St. Charles Education Association, the exclusive bargaining organization for certified employees in the district. We'd like to begin by welcoming all our returning members back for another year. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to all our new members who've signed up with the organization over the past few weeks. New employees have a choice in who they get to join, and once again, we are proud to say a majority of new teachers have joined SCEA. Thank you for being a part of our organization. We hope everybody enjoyed a long, relaxing holiday weekend. Our members are back and working hard to make sure all our students can reach their fullest potential. The start of each school year is an exciting time, and we are looking forward to great things. Thank you.
Thank you. Monique Zubko?
Good evening. My name is Monique Zupko, and I'm an ELL teacher at Monroe Elementary. I'm also one of the district interpreters, and I work very closely with our ELL families that are Spanish speakers. I'm here today on their behalf. At the beginning of the school year, many members from the Sunnydale Trailer Park came to me asking about why their students were no longer receiving bus service. They were very concerned because they'd always received this service. Some of these families have students that graduated our district, and so they were very shocked and surprised that at the last minute, their children would not be receiving bus service. They asked me to come today and present their concerns, and so here I am. Dear board members, we've recently been notified that specific locations in Sunnydale no longer qualify to receive transportation to and from Monroe Elementary this academic year. While many other families in our community continue to be eligible for and receive transportation to and from school, and the existing bus stop at the Sunnydale entrance continues to be the same as in the past, many of our children have been excluded from utilizing this critically needed service. We ask that the board review this new policy and investigate how many students are actually on bus number 30. We've noted that there are at least 5 open seat benches on bus number 30, and many students are seated by themselves. If students were paired and all currently empty seats were occupied, many of us left without transportation could continue to benefit from bus service. Leaving us without bus service at the last minute has created hardships and increased stress this new school year. Additionally, multiple families that have relied on bus service since kindergarten are now forced to try and find last-minute transportation solutions. Exclusion from this service has exacerbated the already long car lines at the Monroe pickup points. Some of us do not drive and must walk both our school children, accompanied by our younger under-school-age children, to and from Monroe. With fall and winter weather conditions soon approaching, these existing issues will be magnified and will preclude some parents from being able to escort their children to school. We urgently ask that you re-examine this policy, as it does not seem best for our children, who are left with very few transportation options. Thank you for your consideration and your assistance.
Thank you. Nancy Delacour?
Hi, I'm Nancy Delcourt. I'm a district taxpayer and I'm a parent of St. Charles West alum. I'm addressing you tonight. Well, first I wanted to thank everyone for their service. I appreciate, everything that you guys do. It's not easy to probably come and sit here and listen to people bring negative comments. So appreciate you listening to my concern tonight. My concern is about the promotion of trans ideology in schools across our nation, but as well, it's seeping into our own district. I wanted to share an example at the elementary level of how trans ideology is, here. There's a book in the Lincoln Elementary School called When Aiden Became a Brother. This book, the summary of this book on Amazon says, this book celebrates the changes in a transgender boy's life from his initial coming out to becoming a big brother. When Aiden was born, everyone thought he was a girl. After he realized he was a trans boy, Aiden and his parents fixed the parts of his life that didn't fit anymore, and he settled happily into his new life. I don't think that this type of book is appropriate at an elementary school. Another example, which may or may not be in our school district, but is one of many examples of books like this in educational institutions across America. This is a children's picture book targeted at ages 4 to 8. This may or may not be available for our children to see. I don't have proof of it. Some girls, here's some of the pages. Some people are girls, some people are boys, some people are neither, some people are both. What are some genders you know about? It's okay to wonder, am I a girl? Am I a boy? Am I both? Am I neither? Maybe you already know. There's no right or wrong answer, and it's okay if your answer changes. Whatever your feelings are, they are real and important. You are the expert in being you. And then there's this page that has these very young children, and then a teenage boy and a woman, and they have the little bubbles coming out, like they're speaking, and one of them says, "I'm a girl." The teenage boy says, "Today I feel like a boy." And then another one, a little girl says, I'll be quick, "I'm a girl too. I'm a woman. I'm an in-betweener.
Nancy,
I'm trans."
thank you, Nancy.
Okay, I have one statement to summarize.
Just one sentence.
Yes, with one sentence. With the ever-declining proficiency rates in English and math of our students, I believe our children, families, and nation would be better served if schools would get the ideologies out of the classroom and focus on reading, writing, and arithmetic. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Teresa?
Hi, I'm Teresa Linsnick. My daughter just graduated from St. Charles High. I'm concerned, I wanted to tell you, I did give all of you something so that you can see the sources I got these facts from. Okay, I am very concerned with the Biden administration's proposed rewrite of Title IX. Among other things, they want to change the meaning of sexual harassment as far as gender identity is concerned. Although I am all for respect of every individual, many of us are concerned with the ramifications of this rewrite. Would this infringe on the free speech and freedom of conscience of teachers and students? Meaning any school staff or student who does not affirm a child's gender choice would get consequences, or government money would be taken away from the school. The rewrite of Title IX would, 1, remove parental rights, 2, damage children, 3, eliminate privacy for girls, 4, include males in female sports, 5, make school staff be the pronoun police, 6, open up schools to lawsuits from parents and teachers. Did you know that the American Psychiatric Association found that 98% of gender-confused boys and 88% of gender-confused girls eventually accept their biological sex after naturally growing through puberty? But if transitioned, children will be less likely to reconnect with their sex. Sex reassignment surgeries have not been shown to reduce the extraordinary high rate of suicide attempts among people who identify as transgender. An overwhelming amount of kids who are not encouraged to go on puberty blockers and get their body parts mutilated are happy in their biological body in just a few years. This tells me that so-called gender affirmation surgery is not a solution, but a way of making some of the trans industry very wealthy at the detriment of our children. The transgender industry estimates it will have a $5 billion profit in 2030. This Monday, September 12th, is the deadline for public comment to the federal government about the rewrite of Title IX. Go to childparentsrights.org, that's childparentrights.org, to see more info and see how you can give your comment to our federal government, whose actions would destroy girls' sports, destroy our freedom of speech, and take away our freedom to exercise our conscience. There are sample comment starters there at that website. Again, go to childparentrights.org for more info. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. That's the end of our audience comment section, and at this time we invite all of you to stay for the rest of this exciting meeting. But this is also a very good opportunity for those of you who have other things that you'd like to be doing this evening to make a break. So we'll take a short few minutes to allow any of you who want to leave, and then we'll start our meeting. Thank you for coming. Okay, we're ready for item 3.06. Do I have a motion to amend or approve the agenda? Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The agenda is approved. Item 4.01 is our consent agenda. For efficiency, the school board utilizes a consent agenda. Items placed on the consent agenda are routine in nature or are among the many decisions the board has already determined are in the domain of the administration. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That passes. Item 6.01, this is our benefits plan, the recommendation for that. Is that, Jeremy, is that you? I didn't look.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
me.
Sorry, Jeremy.
And we also have Eric File from CBiz that's going to be joining us, that is joining us this evening. So he's here to answer any questions that the board may have regarding the changes for 2023. As you guys know, inflationary practices are skyrocketing and have skyrocketed for quite some time. Fortunately, we're not feeling that as steeply in our insurance package for 2023 as you might expect. So CBiz has averaged for our district based on their recommendations, a 4.8% increase over the time period since they've been with us in 2013. If we did nothing moving forward and tried to keep the plan that we currently have, it'd be a 6.57% increase going into next school year, which would cost the district approximately $657,000, something that we cannot absorb. So there are going to be some slight changes to the premiums and to the employee paid in the premium plan, as well as employee spouse, employee child, employee family in the HSA and the base plan. When I say slight changes, we're talking $5 to $13 a month increases in those, unless we are looking at the employee family under the premium plan, and then that would be $28 for the premium core, and then $30 a month for the premium plan. That would impact six families altogether, 3 for the core, 3 for the premium plan. We are able to have some savings on the dental side of things to a couple of dollars. We're not talking an extravagant amount of savings that could offset some of those slight increases under the medical part. And then we are also looking to change from Unum to Chubb for ancillary services. It is a very well-recognized worldwide organization that has a very, very healthy reserve that they are able to offset and accommodate all of our members without any concerns. So in addition to that, we will also employees will receive some savings by making that move, and the district will also receive some savings by making that move. In totality, it looks like it would cost the district about $140,000 against our insurance fund for the next school year. This previous year, we were estimating $200,000 hit, better than expected, and we're going to probably take a $165,000 hit against that fund. So there is a silver lining for our employees, in my opinion, in that we certainly aren't getting into the 10% rise as some might expect. And as Eric could tell you, he's seeing some as high as 14%, I believe, within the region. So we're not looking at anything alarming with regards to that, but we are seeing some slight increases for our employees. Again, most employees will either have $0 if they're just employee-only base and HSA. Anything beyond that is typically $5 to $13, and then, of course, what I said, the employee family is $28 or $30 a month. So we do have, with moving to Chubb, we have benefits all in that we're looking to utilize. Benefits all in is honestly, it's something I'm very excited about, in that it has the ability to go to some of our higher claimants and educate them on resources outside of our benefit package. Not saying that they don't use our benefit package, but it benefits them in giving them, directing them towards some state and or federal resources for their particular needs. So that could be a cost saving not only for that family, but it could also generate significant cost for the district. We would enter into that agreement with them for a 6-month period, in which case we would either go for $1 per employee per month or $5, and that's going to be based on the savings that they are providing for us by the time it rolls around in March. Additionally, we will highly recommend every employee to go through open enrollment. We haven't had that in about 10 years for our district. We hope that provides educational opportunities for our employees to choose the best package for them and for their family if they so desire. And that we anticipate that would happen middle of October and be completed around mid-November. I think that's what I can remember from it. Eric?
I have a question. How much would retirees pay that are not yet old enough to qualify for Medicare?
It would be dependent on,
You have the cost, on the plan, do they pay the full renewal cost or?
Yeah, it'd be the full renewal
Okay,
cost, yeah.
okay.
When you talked about the premiums, you said it was like 3 and 3 that they're affecting, or like a total of 6 in different buckets. Is that
Right.
just of active teachers, or does that include?
That, I don't know
Okay.
if that's active or retirees. I don't know that information. I just know the total amount.
And just a quick note too, Jeremy led a committee of great staff members from different aspects of our staff, and I thought did a great job as well. And we thought their increases were going to be a little bit higher than they were, and understandably too, as administration, we do not want to see any increases at all. We just don't, and so that's why you see, what'd you say, Jeremy, 165 on a hit for us?
That was for last year. We're anticipating 140.
140 this year.
current school
So we're certainly going to take a hit on that fund because we want to make sure we're keeping that increase down as low as we can, so.
And obviously, when we're talking about numbers like that and anticipation on what we're looking at as far as balances are concerned, CBIZ is heavily involved with us in helping direct our sales with that.
Yeah, Eric's done a great job of, again, guiding us through all the processes, and I'm really excited too about, just me personally too, to be able to sit down with somebody and go over my choices just to see if I can do something different that benefit myself and my family as well. And I think, like you said, Jeremy, we haven't done that in a while, so that would be a good service to have for everybody.
How do they handle that? It's been such a long time. How do they handle the,
Well, we discussed that of being in person or virtual or just telephone.
Combo.
And I think we're going to offer the virtual and telephone more than anything else.
They could do all three, but they prefer virtual or in person. And we are highly encouraging everybody to meet one-on-one with the counselor for a 30-minute sit-down, 20 to 30 minutes. And, we're not making it mandatory, I don't think, highly encouraged, but we are, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy, we are making it mandatory for everybody to at least sign in.
Correct.
And enroll online.
Yes.
Okay, just to review their benefits, check their beneficiaries and so forth. So I think I look forward to a very successful rollout. And what happens is the enrollment firm, we'll give them names of all the buildings and they will schedule, and there's an online scheduler where the employee would just go in and schedule a certain time that might fit their needs. And at that point in time, it's up to the enroller then to call that or on a virtual visit or in person visit with that person, okay? So these enrollers have it down to an art, but it is a online process that they sign up for a certain time during the 2 to 3 week span.
Jeremy, you're also working on a plan, making sure the information gets out to the staff before that happens, correct?
Correct. I am going to offer to meet at buildings, but I'm letting the principals make that decision on what that looks like, and their leadership team, obviously, within those buildings, make the decision on what that looks like. Rather, it could be a faculty meeting that I attend, or it could just be, here's a time, I'm going to be here, show up if you'd like to just discuss what we're recommending.
any other discussion? Do I have a motion to approve the recommendations for the benefit plan?
I move to approve the recommendations for the benefit plan for 2023 as presented.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Item 6.02, this is a policy change. Thank you. This is a policy change that, that we are going to be looking at for first reading, although I think some of us, we've been talking about it at our board work session. So this is just your first reading. If you have any questions about it, otherwise we'll be voting on it next month. Okay. Item 7.01, this is our technology planning program review. And is this going to be Kevin? That's Kevin.
So this is the Technology Department Program Review. The general program description is the Technology Department is charged with obtaining, deploying, and maintaining the equipment, software, and physical connections that enable our electronic communications and services both in the classroom and among the personnel who support the educational process. Additionally, the department seeks to expand its capability to improve teacher access to and understanding of the powerful electronic resources the district provides to improve education. So for the 2-year review, I'm just gonna go over the major projects that the department did and how they align to our current 5-year CSIP program. So the first one is just explore and implement an expansion of the Safe Defend notification system to all classrooms in the district. So the intruder system has been installed in all buildings and all regular classrooms except for Lincoln Elementary School. That was put on hold because of future construction, because we're looking at moving the networking closet that's there, because all of the Safe Defend equipment is networked together on the internet. So because we were looking at moving things, we didn't want to cable all of it, have to pull it all out and recable at a large expense to the district. So that's the only one that currently does it. Have it, hopefully, with the next renovation of Lincoln, we'll be able to get that done. Investigate use of visitor management or identification and badging system for schools. The district has currently implemented the Raptor visitor management system in all of the schools. So what the Raptor system does is you have to provide an ID in order to get into a school building, and then the system checks against the National Sex Offender Registry to make sure that that person is not on that list before they're allowed into the building. Consider enhanced video surveillance, building access systems, and building modifications when renovation of buildings is undertaken. So basically, as renovations to buildings have been completed, the district has increased or adjusted building access and security to meet the needs of the renovations. Investigate, purchase, and implement a GPS tracking system to allow real-time tracking of the district bus fleet. So this is currently in process. We have been awaiting equipment since last spring. We were hoping to get it in this summer and get it installed on the buses before school started. Unfortunately, because of issues with supply chain, that hasn't come in yet. I think it's scheduled for October or November. Do you remember? October, that the equipment will come in and we will train. So basically what that does is it's multifaceted. So one, it provides a parent app where you will have a special code for your kid so that you can load your kid's bus route into the app and you can actually track where the kid is real time in comparison to the bus route. So say the bus is running 5-10 minutes late, you can just look up on the app and be like, oh, it's 2 stops down the road, they'll be here soon. Hopefully that will cut down on phone calls to the transportation department. Another one is with the GPS capabilities, the dispatch will be better able to track their fleet and know exactly where their buses are at all times. So if they do get a phone call, they can also say, hey, the bus is over here, that'll be there in 3 minutes. And the last thing that's being added is basically it's like a tablet device that will be mounted onto close to the dashboard. And so what that will do, it will really help the sub-bus drivers. So it'll have all the route information for them, like on a display. So like right now, unfortunately, if they have a route, they have to print out sheets that says your stop's here, here, and here, and then they have to study that, go to the next stop, and then kind of go back and forth. This will allow them to actually see all their routes. Yes, ma'am. I can tell you have a question.
Yes, because it'll get past me, but does it also, does the bus driver have on that clipboard the names of the students that are supposed to be on that bus?
I can't tell you.
Oh.
I would like to say yes, but that's
I
not
didn't
my
even think,
area.
I would have asked soon, I should have, but
Yeah.
it didn't occur to me just now.
I do know the GPS tracking software will, so I think the Drive software should, I think, have that option. So I will say one of the options that they had was that you could have a scan system where they have to scan the students have to have a badge that they scan in so that we could tell who's on the bus. Mm-hmm. But at this point in time, we did not go forward with that because, and talking with Charles Bazile at the time last spring when we did it, we didn't feel like it was cost effective and that kids would be responsible to always remember their badge to scan in, and it wouldn't be worth the cost. Annually review district safety and security policies and procedures for any necessary revisions or additions. So the technology department annually reviews the Safe Defend intruder drills and processes. We review it with the Safe Defend company and discuss best practices and how we can improve our processes. The technology department also reviews our cybersecurity processes to ensure the district is keeping up with industry best practices. Investigate further use of student device monitoring software or other methods to achieve this goal. So currently, the district utilizes a program called Go Guardian for student monitoring in the classroom and when student devices are brought home. So this allows us to filter the students and make sure they're not getting to things that they're not supposed to. It also allows the teachers to see what the kids are doing in class and either lock their Chromebooks down or open them up. You know, the teachers can actually push specific websites to all the Chromebooks or make it so they can't get to only one site and things like that. Consider how to utilize Google Team Drive or other similar resources to create and maintain district-wide repositories of resources and documents. Several departments have started using Google Team Drive, which allows access to documents anytime, anywhere. So even when they're at home or on the beach, they can access their documents as opposed to sharing them on what's called Z Drive or a home drive, where they can only access it when they're in the building or on our network. Continue to investigate and implement strategies to ensure that the district considers digital equity for all students. So currently, the district provides wireless hotspots for students without internet access at home. The district also provides students with Chromebooks from 5th grade through 12th grade that can be taken home as part of the one-to-one program. Investigate expansion of the one-to-one device initiative for grades pre-K through 8. One-to-one was expanded to Jefferson before the 2021-2022 school year. The district now offers one-to-one devices for all grades 5th through 12th. That means the kids have a Chromebook that's assigned to them. They get to take it home every day and bring it back. The district also provides classroom sets of Chromebooks at all the elementary schools. Develop and implement a replacement cycle for all student-used computers and other devices. So currently, with the way the one-to-one program works, is students in 5th grade are provided a brand-new Chromebook. They have that same Chromebook for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And then in 9th grade, they get another brand-new Chromebook, and they have that Chromebook for 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 12th grade. And then when they graduate, they are offered the chance to buy that Chromebook for $25. Since they've been using it, and most likely we're going to end up surplusing it anyway after 4 years, so we give them an opportunity to purchase it if they want it. I'd say about 40-50% purchase it at the end when they graduate. Develop and implement a device replacement schedule for computers and other technology used by instructional staff. Teacher laptops are on a 4-year replacement cycle. Right now, all 7th through 12th grade teachers will receive new laptops before the 2023-2024 school year, and all pre-K through 6th grade teachers will receive new laptops before the 24-25 school year. Next item is implement a maintenance and replacement schedule for internet switches, servers, and other networking equipment. The technology department utilized bond funds from the 2021 bond issue and E-rate funding from the federal government to replace all wireless access points and all network switches in the district during the summer of 2021. So these networking upgrades increased networking capabilities within the district 50-fold. So we went from 1 gig to 50 gig connections between closets. So it's a huge increase. The district currently has one of the fastest and most efficient networks in the state as far as public education. Continue to partner with the City of St. Charles to maintain our shared fiber network. So the network fiber infrastructure, so the way the buildings are connected to each other, that was a bond issue project in the summer of 2017. That was a 15-year lease agreement with the city, so we're currently in year 5 of 15. Again, that increased our connectivity between buildings from 1 gig to 50 gigs. The next one is consider cell phone booster systems strategies as needed in the building. So there's some buildings that have poor cell phone coverage, just if it's the basement of, say, St. Charles High, or when you build a brand new building that has a FEMA shelter that's all cement all the way around, you get poor reception in those areas. The technology department reached out to companies to inquire about costs for cell phone boosters in school buildings known for having poor areas. It was ultimately decided that the phone boosters were not a feasible solution at this time. Then one of the last ones is investigate possibility and benefits of centralized enrollment. Summer of 2021, the technology department began taking over enrollments district-wide or central enrollments for K-12 students to help streamline the process. As of summer 2022, the technology department started processing the enrollments for parents as teachers, special ed, parochial special ed, JJC, and parochial gifted. All enrollments will be centralized through the technology department moving forward. This will help to ensure that students are promptly enrolled in our student information system and reduce redundant data entries at the school. And the most recent thing that has occurred is our research, choose, and implement a new student information system. So in August, Tyler Technologies, the parent company for our student information system, decided that they were no longer going to be in the student information system business, and 250-some districts in the state now have to find a new student information system. So we are starting committee work next week to look at demonstrations of a couple different products. The committee is composed of teachers, administrators, office staff, and parents. Once we select a product, my goal is to have it brought to you guys, to the board, to approve next board meeting so that we can start migrating data into the new system and be ready for the start of the 23-24 school year. So it's a lot of stuff we have to do in the next 9 to 10 months. And just in summary, the primary evaluation process used to determine the technology department's effectiveness will be the district's implementation of the current 5-year comprehensive school improvement plan, or CSIP. The CSIP will be reviewed and updated as needed on an annual basis. Also, regular review of data, departmental meetings and discussions, and ongoing evaluation of industry trends are constantly necessary to adapt to changing technologies, and the department conducts these types of reviews on a weekly basis. Any questions?
Wow. Yeah, okay.
I think you can have a
That's how it's
motion
done
on
in the
that.
last 2
Yeah.
years.
But I will say, and I'm sure Jeremy will say the same thing, not only do we have probably the best director you can find anywhere, but our tech department is second to none. I mean, it really is. So Kevin, thanks for all that you do, and your staff.
The credit goes to all of them, not me.
There's some leadership there. But if we have no other questions on that, do I have a motion to approve the technology planning program as presented?
Move to approve the technology planning program review as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Item 7.02, instructional technology use in the district. You're still standing.
I will start, and then I will pass it off to these amazing curriculum ladies over here.
Okay.
And Earl.
Yes.
And Earl. These amazing ladies and Earl.
We got this team in.
So during the, it was either the April or May board meeting, I do not recall which one, there were some concerns that were brought up, and then a board member asked some questions of how technology is being used or implemented into the classroom. So there were specific questions that were asked of us, so we are going to attempt to answer those questions to the best of our ability, and that is where these lovely ladies come in, because they have all those answers.
Right.
All right. So actually, I'll get started. So we're just sharing a brief overview of how technology is used instructionally throughout our district. And so, Chris, can you go to the next slide, please?
Chris.
So universally, so when we talk about universally, we're talking about across all grade levels. Technology is intentionally used in our classrooms to enhance student learning and their experiences. It allows our students to interact with curriculum through a variety of resources that include things like online textbooks, multimedia tools, and learning management systems. And so with that, you can also do things like research. There's a lot of things that we can do research-wise when it comes to instructional technology in the classroom. It also allows our teachers to be able to assess student learning and get results a lot faster than when I taught, 15, 16 years ago. It's also used to provide interventions for our students. So when we talk about our big rocks, which is RTI, we use a lot of instructional technology to help us be able to provide those interventions to our students. And so our instructional specialists are going to just talk about what it looks like at the different levels, the elementary level versus the secondary levels. Next slide, please.
So at the elementary level, looking through those lenses that Dr. Draper explained, interacting with content through online resources, our students use Google Workspace through like Google Classroom, Google Docs, and presentations. We use Zern, BrainPop, Connect Ed, Mystery Science, and Epic. Those are all online resources that we've purchased through curriculum adoptions. A lot of students in grades 4 and up do research for whether it's science or social studies or even our ELA curriculum, where they will use websites such as Facts4Me, Learn360, Discovery Education, and even YouTube. When we are assessing student learning at the elementary level, we will primarily use 3 platforms: Galileo, as you know, Google Forms, where we have district-wide assessments created on Google Forms that are shared across grade levels, or teacher-created Google Forms, as well as Quizlet. Standardized test prep, we do use the DRC online tools training as well as Galileo to prepare our students for those big tests in the spring. And then, as Dr. Draper explained, for RTI interventions, we have a few programs that we use as well that students can cycle through those skills to practice and reinforce, such as IXL, Zern, Do the Math, and Reading A to Z.
Hi, at the secondary level, it looks a little bit different because it is more content-based. So our students are using online databases more often for research instead of using Google or other research things. So we have online databases at the middle and the high school levels. They also use Google Workspace for EDU, just like they do at the elementary level, but they use it in a different way. Almost all of our secondary classrooms are using Google Classroom as their learning management system and using every different tool that's in there: Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, and of course YouTube is also within that workspace. In some of our business classes, and our art classes as well, we're using those Adobe digital tools. And going down one more, those certifications kind of go along with that Adobe, where they're getting certified and bringing that right out into the workplace. And we also added certifications in our FACS classes as well. And then vendor-specific online tools. So those are more like our textbooks. Every textbook that we purchase, content-wise, has a set of online tools. So most recently, they got the science tools. So they all got science textbooks, but then there's embedded online tools that go along with those. And then just like at the elementary and intermediate levels, there is interventions that are used online, such as IXL, Read 180, and Math 180. Oh, and that's me too. Okay, benefits. I was gonna step away, but no. All right, benefits of instructional technology. So it increases student engagement. Students like to be on the computer, and we use that for distance learning. So we have the AMI days where, we can count that as a day instead of having a snow day. And obviously we had to do that when we were in COVID lockdown. But using things like the Google Classroom, and our teachers create these amazing online lessons that are engaging for our students so that they can do learning at a distance. And we do also have distance learning through Launch Program for some of our students and some other ones where they're taking courses that we don't actually even offer. So we actually have, we had a high school student taking a Mandarin class online. He would sit in the library during 1 hour of the day, and that was the distance learning. We don't offer that course, but that student needed to take that class. So that is the distance learning. It prepares students for the real world. And that's what, they're getting out there. They're gonna need to have those technology skills. So, and improves student collaboration, especially through our Google program. Everything is shareable. And the students get on, they hit that share button, they collaborate with their peers, they create group projects. And It also allows our opportunities for differentiation. One of the things that some of our teachers use with the Google Forms, like Nicole said, you can use it for assessing. You can also put a differentiation thing in there. So like if the student gets it wrong, it automatically brings them to like a YouTube video or a Khan Academy video or something that then reteaches it to them, and then they can go back and try again. So it's differentiation practice. It encourages an environment to practice digital citizenship. So in all of our classes, we are encouraging good digital citizenship. It's in our curriculum for computer technology, and it gives them an opportunity to do that and reinforced by our instructors. This one's cut.
So the last thing before we get to any questions that you guys may have is just what measures and safeguards are in place to ensure that student safety. So when the students are on our network here at school, we have what's called a Palo Alto PA5220 next-gen firewall. It's actually one of the highest rated and high-end professional firewalls that are out there. I'll call it the Cadillac of firewalls, in my opinion. Then we have GoGuardian, which I kind of talked about before. It also filters them when they're on our network, and it also filters them when they take their Chromebooks home. So both of these firewalls are filtering is done by what's called category-based filtering. So it blocks by certain categories like gaming or drugs, pornography, and so on. So everything is just based off of categories, and then the system, as new sites come up, they get categorized, they get filtered, and then they get through. So unfortunately, no firewall is completely perfect. There's hundreds, thousands of new sites coming up daily, so sometimes it takes a while for, some random gaming site to get flagged and blocked. If teachers or anyone points them out to us, they send it to us, and then we quickly are able to get it blocked on our side. Then there's YouTube. YouTube has what's called Safe Search feature that we have enabled. So with the Safe Search feature, it's very similar with the category-based. It's blocking things that are inappropriate for kids. So they can't get to like videos on Fortnite or gaming. If they try to look up videos on guns, they're not going to get them. We are now blocking the word Nerf because Nerf itself was not blocked, but now Nerf is blocked for YouTube. So kids can no longer get to Nerf videos. It does a lot of keyword blocking, so it's blocking on specific terms and things like that, both the YouTube and the GoGuardian and the Palo Alto. And then GoGuardian also provides explicit and self-harm reports for administrators. So say Johnny at the middle school is looking up inappropriate material. It gets flagged instantly. A message is sent. If it's explicit, a message is sent to my department, we look at it, and then we send it to the principal, and then the principal contacts that parent, and they deal with that situation. Or I guess Jeremy could probably explain more how, as a principal, that would work.
Yeah, because I think this has been going on for at least 8 years, probably, in my opinion. I think it was an administrator role for 10 years. And yes, we would get an email, it would be a screenshot, an image, or just give us a term or a link that we could address a parent, call the parent, and then address the parent to let them know exactly what their child was looking up. Obviously, if it violated the code of conduct, which in most cases it did, there could be disciplinary action depending on when and how it was searched. So administrators do have that responsibility on them. We've designated a time frame from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. that they're responsible. Beyond 6 p.m., we get these reports. The administrator follows up the next morning with a parent. The parent will receive an email beyond 6 p.m. We want them to have that responsibility if that child is using the technology in their home.
One other thing about GoGuardian is that it also allows teachers to be able to see what's on the student screens. So if they are working on independently, they're supposed to be working independently, and the teachers at their desk are walking around, they can look on their screen as a teacher and be able to see what their students are working on and if they're where they're supposed to be.
Sorry, Jeremy, didn't mean to put you on the spot. I know you weren't ready for that. And the other thing with the explicit is also the self-harm reports. So unfortunately, there are times when kids search how to commit suicide or I don't want to live, those also get flagged and sent straight to the principal to handle. So overall, there's plenty of safeguards, in my opinion, in place between the filtering and the alerts that we receive to help try to keep kids as safe as possible. Like I said, no system is perfect, so when we find things like Nerf videos that have things that get through, as soon as we're made aware of it, we block them and try to keep kids safe as possible.
And Kevin, if a parent did not want their child on the internet individually, they have that right to opt out on that,
Yes,
correct?
so
Just so we have that
every
clear.
building should have a YouTube and internet opt-out form on their website that the parent can fill out, and then we can either put them in a category where they can't get to YouTube at all, or what we call the penalty box, and is what it's called in Go Guardian, where they can only get to specific like curriculum-based stuff like HMH textbooks, and they can't do outside research or anything like that.
Okay, so that is on the individual school's website? Because I couldn't find an opt-in and opt-out on the district website. I looked.
So I will have to get with Chris on making sure that's up there. I don't remember if I shared it with him. I'm gonna say I probably didn't.
Okay,
So that's my fault.
okay, okay.
That's something we'll get on there.
Yep.
Jeremy and I have been talking about that actually even today, because I wanted to make sure I didn't see it either, but we do know. Did you share it with the principals?
I shared it with the building techs, and I
Building
asked them
techs.
to make sure that they had it on all their building websites. I don't think Mr. Bennett was included on that email, so that's an
We
oversight
want
on
to
my
make sure we
part.
get it on the website, on
Yep.
the district page as well, so we can get that done.
Absolutely.
If parents, and I'm assuming, parents would probably look at their school website to opt in and out, but having a district.
So on the building website, it should be under the parent section, is where I asked the techs to put it.
Well, if a parent decides they want to opt out completely, how does that, can they opt out completely?
Uh-huh.
How does that,
That
how does the
for-
child then handle?
I would
That's
defer
up to the
to
teachers then?
Earl or Nicole or.
So that, we
Yeah.
work with the teachers
We
to.
have physical
yeah.
textbooks, so it's not like they have to have the online textbook. They can be they all have an actual textbook too, so,
Hardbound.
yeah.
But as Tina says, it's more engaging for the students to be able to do it online than the traditional textbooks.
Okay.
What other questions do you have?
Walk me through the computer technology classes. At what, I tutor at Null, so I'm aware of the students take computer class. What grade level does that start, and how frequently, and how many hours a week?
They get 30 minutes a week, and it starts at kindergarten.
At kindergarten?
Yes, so it
Okay.
is, they have a computer teacher at all elementary schools. And then at Jefferson, it is an elective. They get it for a semester, either first semester or second semester. And then starting at Hardin, again, they have to take one computer class while they are there. So in 5th and 6th grade, they take it a semester each year. And then at Hardin, it becomes an elective that they take either 7th or 8th grade. They don't have to take it both, but they have to take it at least once in their 7th and 8th grade.
Okay, and I was looking at the curriculum, and it's kind of old.
We rewrote it in 2018-19 school year or 2017-18 school year.
It still references like Microsoft Word, is that on the
And at the
Chromebooks?
Hardin level, they do use, and at the business, they're more doing the business classes, so they use the Microsoft suite at that level. So they're moving them, they're transitioning them from Google Sheets, Google presentations, all of that. They are transitioning them more into the work world and trying to get them into the Microsoft suite. So, and then that continues at the high school level as well.
Okay, 2017, did you say?
I'm not for sure. I think it's the 2017-18 school year is when we rewrote it.
And when is it due for a rewrite? What's
Every
the
7
cycle?
years. It's
a
Every
7-year
years.
cycle.
Okay, well, technology changes so fast. Is there a procedure in place to update?
We have had to replace several things already.
Okay.
Their
You do that.
tablets went out of life 3 years after we purchased them. So we did, I didn't, Kevin bought them all new tablets. They do use Chromebooks at the elementary and Jefferson levels. They bring their Chromebooks to the computer lab with them. And then they have actual computer labs once they get to Hardin and above. And that's when they start transitioning again to the Microsoft products when they actually have a Windows computer.
Okay, okay. And let's see, you answered one of my questions. The emphasis shifts from learning about computers to learning with computers about fourth grade?
Actually, they're creating slideshows and stuff starting in second grade, multimedia, adding audio, videos, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, they're learning how to just log on in kindergarten. How do I use a password? Why do I use a password? That kind of thing starting in kindergarten. And a lot of kindergarten is learning how to spell out their whole email address. So, and it's even longer this year, thanks, Kevin. So they are learning how to type and do one-to-one correspondence with the letters. So that does take a lot out of the computer teacher's time. The very first couple months with kindergarten is just having them learn how to log onto a computer.
Okay, so a kindergarten teacher has a classroom set in their classroom, or?
They haven't done it, yeah.
And that's district-wide. And I guess you answered one of my questions in an offhand way. It was, what Go Guardian products do you have? I know there's Teacher, and there's Admin, and there's Beacon. And I guess that was the one Jeremy was talking about, Beacon?
Yeah, so we have all three of those products.
three of
The
those?
Beacon is the one that gives the self-harm alerts.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
And are the regular classroom teachers trained in the use of Go Guardian?
We have offered them Go Guardian training. It has been optional. So that was one of our things that we are contemplating whether or not to make it mandatory training on Go Guardian. We have not come up with a plan for that yet.
Okay.
Go Guardian also has a lot of, on their website, on their teacher section, they have a lot of short videos that literally say, this is how you do this, this is how you do this, this is how you do this. So teachers can go in on their own time and just watch these short 30-second, 2-minute videos and see how to do things.
Yeah,
But we have not made it mandatory for teachers to
Mandatory,
use at this time.
okay. And how does the district ensure that students are, especially young students, are on task and not watching, the incident that I was referring to, not watching videos?
I mean, I think it goes back to classroom management, honestly. We have the tools set up for teachers to be able to do that. Go Guardian is certainly able to help teachers monitor students while they're online. In some cases, if teachers pull in a small group and they're working with a small group of students and another group is working online on something, that's back to a management piece.
Are there any plans to, I guess Go Guardian can tell, are there any plans to audit the on-task behavior of, like, the third graders?
Obviously, we have a small sample size for this school year, so we only have 2 weeks. But after the first week of school, the the guys and I downstairs are my network admins. We randomly polled some kids just to kind of see what we were seeing. I think we pulled a couple kids from Harris and the middle school and stuff. And for the most part, I don't know if it was just so new into the school year, there really wasn't that much activity yet, to be honest.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to follow up and clarify that SCSD Internet/YouTube opt-out form is underneath the parents section in the district website. Chris just made sure it was on there, and when we talked about Kevin sending out to the text to put it on their websites, their school websites, just remember the school websites are part of the district website. So, and I did find it on St. Charles West and a couple other, but now Chris has clearly have it on, is that where it is, Chris, under parents? That's where okay, yeah, that's where I'm, yeah, district parental forms.
No, you should. It's available for
It's
everyone.
it's access for everybody.
But I think you said Chris just added it, right, to the district page. So it was not there earlier when you looked.
Clear, yeah, but it was on, I did look up like St. Charles West just to see if it was on one of on their school page, and it was. I didn't get a chance to look at all of it, but now it's clearly on there for everybody. So Blackhurst had it, so. And again, the school web pages are on the district web page, but now it's on, if you go to the parents, it's right there on the district web page. And I think I referenced that in a letter at the beginning of the year too, or in the summer, about what we were doing for internet safety.
Yeah, and
So-
we did talk at our administrators retreat over the summer. We did talk about that it was coming, I believe, or at some point we told principals that it was coming.
Any other discussion on this topic? This is an information discussion, so there's no motion here. Anything else for the good of the cause? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, guys, thank you.
We're ready for item 8.01, our district financial report. Jeremy?
All right, me again. My apologies. Real quick, you guys know we've been in a transition from e-finance to Alio for several months now. And what you'll initially see on there is the old e-finance report. What Lavinia is having to do, though, in order to duplicate that is calculate and input these numbers by hand. So what we're wanting to do is, Chris, if you could transition to the August 2022 year-to-date revenues and expenditures by fund. We're wanting to start using a report that looks like this, but would obviously give you some more breakdown of the numbers that we would be seeing. And I think if we go to this, we'll be able to do a more of a side-by-side comparison from 21 to 22 to 22 to 23, and give you visuals rather than numbers, which I think is very beneficial for all of us as we're looking at times, it's some very complicated material, especially when we're just giving it a few minutes to look at. So in this particular report, you'll see the revenues and the expenditures all projected on a budget that we just agreed upon from a tax rate. And then how that's calculating out as we get to December. And on the left side, you'll see the revenues, on the right side, expenditures, and you'll see at the bottom under the general fund, for example, you take the adjusted budget for the revenues, subtract the adjusted budget on the expenditures, and that gets you that 15 million balance there. And that's what we would use typically to do the fund balance, is what you guys will see is being reduced month to month to month until probably the middle of December, when we start seeing that personal property income rolling in that we know is going to be considerable more than what we've previously experienced.
And if you see a lower number too on that percentage, just a couple of differences. Typically, in the years past, we have showed a projected percentage, and Jeremy's probably going to show you exactly where we're at, because it does lower.
It's still projected.
Until the revenues come in.
Yeah, it's still projected because we're still operating off of numbers that were accepted in the board report for the budget, all anticipated. And as you guys know, with state and federal funding, everything is anticipated with state and federal funding until it actually shows up. And that's not a knock on the state or the federal government, that's just how it goes. So we're comfortable where we sit right now, And you will see on this too, just to be clear, I wanted to make sure I pointed this out. With the debt service fund and the bond issue fund, we already have a significant amount of that revenue in a code, in a line item. So as you look at the revenues for just say the bond issue, $100,950, that's the revenue that we've experienced this year. But if you look to the right, the budget is actually at 16 million. So don't be alarmed on that. That's just how it has to be coded in that particular area. Debt service fund is very similar to that. That's the 75 cent that we take out to pay the debt service, which is typically paid principal and interest in March, and then an interest-only payment in September. The state ensures that we have enough in that fund, but based on our calculations, to cover that principal and interest payment specifically in March, which that's why we keep it at 75 cents, and that's why we're able to keep it at 75 cents. And we need that in order to do so. In 4 years, it won't be 75 cents unless we agree to do another bond issue, in which case, if we don't, it could lower down in numbers, probably around that 40-cent range. So that's kind of the board report. Does anyone have any questions on that?
No questions? That's wonderful. Okay, well then, do I have a motion to accept the financial report? Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That passes. Thank you, Jeremy. We are now at item 9.01. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Jeez.
I panicked at her. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all. Yeah.